cry in the hangar. The hangar was never quiet. Even at night, machines hummed, lights buzzed, and distant ships came and went. But this night was different. Too quiet. Too still. Evan walked alone across the metal floor, his boots echoing softly. He was a simple human technician, nothing special. His job was to check cargo locks and power lines before morning shift began. He had done this walk hundreds of times before. That was why the sound stopped him. It was not metal. It was not a machine. It was a cry. Soft. Weak. Almost like a child trying not to be heard. Evan froze. He looked around the wide hangar. Tall ships rested like sleeping giants. Shadows stretched between crates and fuel tanks. The sound came again, clearer this time. A whimper. No way. Evan whispered to himself. No civilians were allowed here. No animals. And definitely no children. This hangar was a restricted zone. Whatever made that sound should not exist. Evan told himself to walk away. Strange things happened in space stations. Pipes cracked. Air shifted. Sounds traveled in odd ways. But the cry came again. This time it sounded scared. Evan sighed and moved toward the sound. Slowly, carefully, he followed it between stacked cargo crates, deeper into the hangar shadows. The lights flickered above him, throwing broken patterns on the floor. The air felt colder here. Then he saw movement. Something small pulled back, trying to hide. Evan stopped breathing. Curled behind the crates was a creature he had only seen in history files and warning briefings. A dragon child. It was small, no bigger than a large dog. Its scales were pale silver, almost white. One wing was bent wrong, shaking as it tried to pull it close. Its chest rose and fell too fast, too weak. Its eyes opened wide when it saw Evan. Bright blue, full of fear. Evan's heart slammed against his ribs. Dragons don't come near human space, he whispered. They never do. Dragons were not just rare. They were forbidden. Dangerous. For centuries, humans and dragons have been enemies. Wars were fought. Worlds burned. The law was clear. Any dragon found in human territory must be destroyed. The dragon child tried to crawl away, but its body failed it. It let out a small cry and collapsed. Evan moved without thinking. He knelt slowly, keeping his hands open. Easy. I'm not going to hurt you. The dragon child watched him closely. Smoke leaked from its nose in short, weak puffs. Its claws scraped against the metal floor. Then something impossible happened. The child spoke. Mama, it whispered. Its voice was rough, broken, like it had not spoken human words before. Mama is dying. Will you help? Evan felt the world tilt. Dragons did not speak human language. Or at least, that was what everyone believed. Your mother? Evan said quietly. The dragon child nodded weakly. Its eyes filled with something Evan had seen before in human children. Fear mixed with hope. She stayed so I could run, the child said. Bad ships, fire. Mama hurt. Evan swallowed hard. He should leave. He should call security. He should press the emergency button on his wrist. Instead, he reached out slowly and touched the child's shoulder. It was warm, alive. Where is she? Evan asked. The child lifted a shaking claw and tapped the floor. A soft light appeared, forming a star map in the air. A drifting location far from the station. A dead zone of space. Evan stared at it. No rescue team would go there. No human ship would survive long enough. Suddenly, alarms blared. Red lights flashed across the hangar. Unauthorized presence detected. Evan's blood turned cold. The dragon child flinched and tried to stand again, but its legs gave out. It looked up at Evan, panic flooding its eyes. Please, it said, don't leave. Evan stood there, caught between fear and something stronger. He thought of the law. He thought of the guards. He thought of how easy it would be to walk away. Then he looked at the dragon child shivering on the cold metal floor. Evan took off his jacket and wrapped it gently around the small dragon. Okay, he said, his voice low but firm. Okay, I'll help. The alarms grew louder. Footsteps echoed in the distance. Evan lifted the dragon child into his arms and ran. A choice that no human was allowed to make. The alarms screamed like angry beasts. Red lights washed over the hangar, turning every shadow sharp and dangerous. Evan ran as fast as he could, his boots slipping on the cold metal floor. The dragon child was light in his arms, too light. Its body trembled, and its breathing was shallow. "Quiet. Please stay quiet," Evan whispered, though he did not know if the child understood. Footsteps thundered behind him. Security guards. If they saw him now, there would be no warning. No questions. Helping a dragon was treason. Carrying one was a death sentence. Evan turned sharply and ducked between two parked cargo ships. He slid behind a fuel loader and pressed his back against it, holding his breath. The dragon child curled closer to him, hiding its face in his chest. Guards ran past, shouting orders. "Check every corner. No survivors if it's hostile." Evan closed his eyes for a second. Survivors. They were already talking about killing. The child lifted its head slowly. Its glowing eyes met Evan's. "They will hurt you," it whispered. "Because of me." Evan forced a small smile. "Yeah, humans are good at hurting things they don't understand." The guards' voices faded, moving deeper into the hangar. Evan did not wait. He moved again, slower now, staying low, using shadows like cover. He reached a small maintenance tunnel hidden behind stacked crates. Only technicians knew about it. He slid inside and sealed the hatch. The tunnel was dark and narrow. Emergency lights flickered weakly. Evan leaned against the wall, breathing hard. The dragon child shivered. Evan checked its wing. The bone was cracked. Burn marks covered its side. "You shouldn't even be alive," Evan muttered. The child gave a weak smile. "Mama said, run. Humans hate dragons, but some humans different." That hurt more than Evan expected. "Your mother trusted me?" Evan asked. "She trusted my heart," the child said softly. "And my heart chose you." Evan looked away. He had never felt important before. Never felt chosen. The tunnel ended at a small storage bay. Empty. Quiet. Safe for now. Evan gently placed the dragon child on a crate and connected a portable heater. Warm air filled the space. The child sighed in relief. "Show me again," Evan said. "Your mother." The dragon child nodded and tapped the air. The star map appeared, clearer this time. A ruined region of space filled with debris and radiation storms. At the center, a massive shape. A dragon ship. Broken. Burning. Slowly drifting. "That place is dead," Evan whispered. "No human ship is allowed there." "Because humans fear it," the child replied. "Because dragons died there." Evan stared at the map. Then another sound reached them. A deep vibration. The station shook. Evan's wrist console lit up with emergency alerts. "Dragon signal detected. All units prepare for elimination." Evan's heart dropped. "They found us," he said. The dragon child's eyes widened. "They will kill Mama." Evan clenched his fists. He made his decision. "There's a small scout ship," he said. "Old. Barely used. No weapons. No one checks it." The child looked at him with hope. "But," Evan continued, "if we take it, there's no coming back." "That is okay," the child said. "If Mama lives, I am happy." Evan swallowed. They moved fast. The scout ship was hidden in a repair dock. Dust covered its hull. Its systems were outdated, ignored by everyone. Perfect. Evan powered it up. Warning lights flashed everywhere. Yeah, I know," he muttered. "You hate life." The dragon child curled into the co-pilot's seat, weak but watching everything. As the hangar doors began to open, Evan heard shouting behind them. "Stop that ship. Fire now." The engines roared. The scout ship shot forward just as energy blasts tore through the space behind them. They escaped into the black. Silence filled the cockpit. Stars stretched ahead. Evan exhaled slowly. "We did it," he said. The dragon child smiled, then suddenly gasped. Its body glowed faintly. Evan turned in alarm. "What's happening?" The child looked at him, fear returning to its eyes. "Mama is getting worse," it whispered. "I can feel it." The ship's sensor screamed. A massive energy signature appeared on the screen. Not human, not friendly. Something ancient and very angry was waking up near the dragon's ship. Evan stared at the screen as the signal grew stronger. "What did we just fly into?" he whispered. The dragon child closed its eyes. "The place where dragons go to die," it said softly. "The dead zone that watched them back." Space went silent after the jump. Too silent. Evan stared at the stars outside the cockpit window. They did not shine the same here. They looked dull, weak, as if the light itself was afraid to exist in this place. The ship's systems flickered, radiation levels rising. The computer warned in a flat voice. Navigation unstable. Evan gripped the controls. Yeah, I can feel that. The dragon child lay curled in the co-pilot's seat, wrapped in Evan's jacket. Its breathing was slow now. Too slow. Hey, Evan said softly. Stay with me. The child opened its eyes. The glow in them was dimmer than before. This place remembers, it whispered. Remembers what? Evan asked. Pain. A sudden shock hit the ship. Metal screamed. Evan cursed as the scout ship spun sideways. Broken ships drifted past the window. Human, alien, dragon, torn apart like toys. Massive claw marks were burned into their hulls. This was a battlefield, Evan muttered. A graveyard. No, the dragon child said quietly. This was a warning. The sensors screamed again. Evan looked at the screen. Something huge moved in the darkness. Not fast, not loud, just watching. Evan's mouth went dry. Tell me that's just debris. The dragon child shook its head. Hunters, it said, left behind when the war ended. They eat weak things. Great, Evan said. Of course they do. The ship shuddered as something brushed past it. A shadow crossed the stars. Bigger than the scout ship. Bigger than anything Evan had ever seen. Do not stop, the child whispered urgently. If you stop, they hear your fear. Evan pushed the engines harder. The ship groaned in protest. Then the signal appeared. A massive shape, barely holding together, drifting ahead. The dragon ship. Even broken, it was beautiful. Long curved wings folded around its core. Ancient symbols glowed faintly across its hull. And at its center, a life signal. Weak. Fading. Mama, the child whispered. Evan's heart pounded. I see it. I see her. As they moved closer, Evan felt it. Pressure, like the space itself, was pushing back. The ship's lights flickered off. Darkness swallowed them. Then a voice filled the cockpit. Not through speakers. Inside Evan's head. Human, why are you here? Evan froze. His hands trembled on the controls. I'm just trying to help, he said out loud, unsure if the voice could hear him. The dragon child sat up suddenly, eyes glowing brighter. She is calling you, the child said. She is awake. The scout ship drifted closer to the wreck. Cracks ran across the dragon ship's hull. Burn marks covered its scales. Huge pieces were missing, torn away by weapons far stronger than anything humans had. A massive eye opened in the darkness. Golden, ancient, tired. The dragon mother. Her body barely moved. Each breath sent waves through space. Blood, thick and glowing, floated around her like dying stars. Evan swallowed hard. He had grown up hearing stories. Dragons as monsters. Dragons as destroyers. But this was just a mother who had been broken. You should not be here, human, the dragon mother said. My enemies will follow you. Evan took a step forward, even though his legs shook. Your child found me. I couldn't leave them. Silence. Then the dragon mother laughed softly, a sound like cracking worlds. You are either very brave or very foolish. Probably foolish, Evan replied. The dragon mother's I shifted toward her child. You trusted him? Yes, the child said. He did not run. The dragon mother closed her eyes slowly. When she opened it again, the pressure increased. Evan dropped to one knee. If I die, she said, my death will wake things that should remain asleep. Evan looked up. Then we won't let you die. The dragon mother studied him. Humans broke this place, she said. Why should I trust one now? Evan hesitated. Then he spoke the truth. Because I'm scared, he said. And I'm still here. The silence stretched. Suddenly, the sensor screamed. Multiple contacts. Fast. Armed. Human warships. They followed us. Evan whispered. They're going to fire. The dragon mother's I burn brighter. Then the galaxy will burn with me. The dragon child grabbed Evan's arm. No, Mama, please. Evan stood, fear shaking his voice. If you attack them now, you prove them right. The dragon mother paused. Her massive head lowered just slightly. What do you suggest, little human? Evan's mind raced. We hide you, he said. Stabilize you. By time, let me talk to them. The dragon mother stared at him. Then she did something no human had ever seen before. She bowed her head. Very well, human. But if you fail, there will be no mercy. Outside, the first human warship entered firing range. Weapons charged. The galaxy held its breath. When the Dragon Queen chose not to burn the stars, the human warships spread out slowly. They moved like hunters who already believed the kill was theirs. Evan watched their signals light up the screen, lock-on warnings, weapon charges, attack formations. Each one felt like a clock ticking down. The Dragon Mother floated outside, her massive body barely held together by fading light. Every breath she took sent waves through space. She was dying. There was no denying it now. The Dragon Child clutched Evan's arm. They are afraid, the child whispered. Fear makes humans cruel. Evan swallowed. Yeah, sometimes it does. A harsh voice broke through the comm channel. Unidentified scout ship. Power down immediately. Any attempt to interfere will be treated as hostile action. Evan opened the channel with shaking hands. This is Evan Cole, he said. Technician class. I'm requesting medical support. Laughter crackled through the comm. Medical support? For what? That thing behind you. The Dragon Mother stirred. Space bent around her as her energy flared. Just a little. The warships reacted instantly. Weapons charged to full power. The Dragon Child cried out. Mama, please don't. The Dragon Mother froze. Evan stepped forward, his voice louder now. She's not attacking. She's wounded. If you fire, you're killing a mother in front of her child. Silence. For a moment, Evan thought it worked. Then the fleet commander spoke, cold and calm. Dragons do not have mothers. They have weapons, and weapons get destroyed. Evan's hands clenched into fists. That's a lie, he said, and you know it. The commander paused. You are emotionally compromised. Step away from the creature. Behind Evan, the Dragon Mother lowered her head. Her massive golden eye focused on him. Human, her voice echoed in his mind. This is where you run. Evan shook his head. I'm not leaving. They will kill you. Then they'll have to live with it. The Dragon Mother looked past him, at her child shaking with fear. Something ancient shifted inside her. Her energy dimmed further as she pulled it inward, restraining herself. The warships hesitated. Their sensors spiked wildly. Commander, an officer said, she's holding back. She could wipe us out, but she's not. That changed everything. Fear spread through the fleet. Evan took his chance. She trusted me, he said into the comm, and I trust her. If you fire, you prove humans never change. The silence stretched. Then, another voice joined the channel. Older, tired. This is Admiral Reyes, it said. Stand down weapons. What? The commander snapped. She's a Dragon Queen. I know, the Admiral replied. That's why she hasn't killed us yet. The Dragon Mother slowly extended one massive claw. Empty, open. A sign of peace. A signal no human had ever seen from a dragon. The Dragon Child gasped. Mama, the Admiral spoke again. Human technician, can you stabilize her? Evan nodded hard. With help. With time. More silence. Then the order came. All ships hold fire. Weapons powered down. Evan's knees almost gave out. The Dragon Mother released a long, shaking breath. You have changed fate tonight, human, she said softly. Evan looked up at her. No, you did. Emergency drones launched from the human fleet. Medical units followed. Nervous, slow, careful. As they worked, Evan noticed something strange. Other signals were appearing on the edge of the scanners. Watching. Waiting. Not human. Not dragon. The Dragon Mother sensed it too. Her eye narrowed. This mercy will not go unnoticed, she warned. Old enemies are waking. Evan looked at the growing signals and felt a chill. What kind of enemies? The Dragon Mother's voice dropped to a whisper that shook space itself. The ones who taught humans and dragons how to hate. The Dragon Child held Evan's hand tightly. Promise me, the child said. Promise you won't leave. Evan squeezed back. I promise. Outside, in the dark beyond the stars, something ancient shifted, and the galaxy took its first step toward a war it was not ready for. The enemy that watched from the dark. The human fleet stayed still. No weapons fired. No engines moved. Silence spread across the dead zone like a held breath. Evan floated between two worlds now. Human ships on one side, the broken Dragon Queen on the other. Emergency drones worked carefully, repairing what they could, afraid of making even the smallest mistake. The Dragon Queen did not sleep. Her golden eye remained open, watching the darkness beyond the stars. "She is afraid," the dragon child whispered. Evan frowned. Afraid of what? The child shook its head slowly. Not what, who? Before Evan could ask more, every sensor screamed at once. Not alarms. Warnings. Unknown signatures appeared across the screen. Dozens of them. Then hundreds. Not ships. Not fleets. Shapes. Wrong shapes. "They're not using engines," an officer said over comms. "They're sliding through space." The Dragon Queen's voice entered Evan's mind, heavy and cold. "They have found us." The stars dimmed. Space itself bent, folding inward like a wound opening. Something came through. It was massive but thin, long, sharp, made of shifting black metal and pale light. No wings, no flames, just hunger. Human ships opened fire on instinct. The shots vanished, swallowed. The thing did not even slow. "What is that?" Evan whispered. The Dragon Queen answered, her voice filled with old pain. "The first silence. They came before dragons, before humans. They taught the galaxy how to fear." The creature turned. It noticed them. A voice echoed across every channel at once. Human, dragon, machine, translated perfectly into the mind. "You still fight each other," it said. "Good. That makes you weak." Human weapons fail one by one. Shield collapsed. Power drained like blood from open veins. Panic spread through the fleet. "We can't hurt it. It's feeding on our energy. Pull back now." The Dragon Queen tried to rise. Pain ripped through her body. Glowing blood spilled into space. The dragon child screamed. "Mama!" Eva didn't think. He ran to the console and rerouted power, away from weapons, away from shields, into one channel. A broadcast. "This is Evan Cole," he said loudly, his voice shaking but strong. "Stop fighting it alone. It wants us divided." The first silence laughed. "Little human, unity is a myth." Evan looked at the Dragon Queen, at her child, at the human ships burning in fear. "Maybe," he said, "but kindness isn't." He did something no protocol allowed. He opened a shared channel. Human and dragon. "Power to her," Evan shouted. Not as weapons, as trust. For a second, nothing happened. Then one ship complied. Then another. Then more. Energy flowed, not sharp, not violent, but steady and calm. The Dragon Queen gasped. Her wound slowed. Her eye burned brighter than before. "You give freely," she whispered. "That is why they fear you." The first silence recoiled. Not in pain, in surprise. "This is not how the story goes," it hissed. The Dragon Queen lifted her head fully now. "Not as a monster, as a queen. Then we will write a new one." Light exploded outward. Not fire, not death, but presence. The first silence pulled back, retreating into the dark. Not defeated, but warned. The stars returned. The human fleet floated, damaged but alive. Evan collapsed into his seat, breathing hard. The dragon child hugged him tightly. "You didn't run," the child said again. "Even now." The Dragon Queen's voice softened. "Human Evan, you have done what armies failed to do. You reminded the galaxy how to stand together." Evan looked out at the stars, knowing the truth. "This isn't over," he said. The Dragon Queen agreed. "No, but now we are not alone." Far away, in the deep dark, the first silence watched, and it began to plan. He battled humanity was never meant to survive. The first silence did not leave. It only pulled back. Space felt wrong now, like a storm waiting to break. The stars flickered in and out, and long shadows moved where nothing should move. Human ships regrouped, damaged and shaking. Power was low. Weapons were failing. Fear spread through every channel. Admiral Reyes spoke, her voice steady but tired. "That thing is still out there. We don't know how to fight it." The Dragon Queen answered from the dark, her voice calm and heavy. "You cannot fight it as you are. You fight as pieces. It hunts pieces." Evan stood silently near the console. His hands were still shaking, but his mind was clear. "What if we don't fight it?" he said. Every head turned toward him. The commander snapped. "That thing almost erased us." "I know," Evan replied. "That's why we stopped thinking like soldiers." The Dragon Queen's golden eye focused on him. "Speak, human." Evan took a breath. "It feeds on power, fear, anger, weapons. We give it nothing like that." "That's insane," an officer said. "Then what do we use?" Evan looked at the dragon child, resting beside the queen. "Connection," he said. "Trust. Shared will." The room went silent. The Dragon Queen closed her eyes slowly. "Once before, dragons tried this," she said. "We failed. We trusted only ourselves." Evan nodded. "This time, you won't be alone." A deep vibration rolled through space. The first silence returned. This time, not one. 3. They slid out of the dark like blades, cutting reality open. Human ships panicked. Weapons powered up automatically. "No!" Evan shouted. "Shut them down." For one terrible second, no one listened. Energy spikes flared. The first silence surged forward, feeding, growing larger. A human destroyer went dark, empty in a heartbeat. The dragon child screamed. The Dragon Queen roared. Space shook. She rose fully, pain tearing through her body, but she did not attack. Instead, she spread her wings wide. "All of you," she said, her voice entering every mind. "Feel each other. Do not hide." The human fleet hesitated. Then Admiral Reyes gave the order. "All ships, power weapons down. Open neural links. Share systems." It went against every rule of war. But they obeyed. Energy changed. Not sharp, not violent. Warm. Human minds touched dragon minds. Fear met fear. Pain met pain. Not to control, only to understand. Evan felt it too. Thousands of lives. Different worlds. Different species. One feeling bound them all. Protect. The first silence recoiled. "This is wrong," it hissed. "You were made to break." The Dragon Queen's voice thundered. "We were made to endure." Light spread, not blinding, not burning, but solid. The first silence struck. It hit a wall it could not pass. The creature screamed, not in pain, but in denial. Human ships held. Dragons held. Evan fell to his knees, blood running from his nose, but he stayed connected. "Hold," he whispered. "Just hold." One by one, the first silence retreated. Not destroyed. Driven away. Silence returned. Real silence. Ships drifted, exhausted but alive. The Dragon Queen slowly folded her wings. Her body trembled. The dragon child rushed to her side. "Mama!" The queen lowered her head to Evan. "This bond will change everything," she said, "and it will cost us dearly." Evan nodded. "I know." Far beyond their sight, the first silence gathered. They had learned something new. Humans and dragons together were dangerous, and the war had only just begun. The promise that terrified the galaxy. The stars slowly returned to normal. The dead zone no longer felt dead. Human ships drifted in silence, their hulls scarred but alive. Dragon energy faded from the space around them, leaving only calm and exhaustion behind. The first silence was gone. For now, Evan sat on the floor of the command deck, his back against the wall. His head hurt. His body felt heavy, but he was alive. That alone felt unreal. The dragon child rested beside him, leaning against his arm. Its breathing was steady now. "Mama is safe," the child said softly. Evan looked up. The Dragon Queen floated outside, her wounds glowing faintly as they slowly closed. She was still weak, but she was no longer dying. Human medical drones worked beside dragon healers, something no one in the galaxy had ever seen before. Admiral Reyes stepped closer to Evan. "You changed history," she said quietly. Evan shook his head. "I just didn't walk away." The Dragon Queen turned her great head toward the human fleet. Her voice carried through space, calm but powerful. "The war between dragons and humans is over." The words hit harder than any weapon. Human officers froze. Weapons officers stared in disbelief. Record systems paused, unsure how to log what they were hearing. Not because one side won, the Dragon Queen continued, but because we both survived. She lowered her massive head toward Evan. "This human stood when fear ruled. He did not command. He did not conquer. He chose to care. The dragon child climbed into Evan's arms and looked out at the stars. "I want to see your world," the child said. "A world without hiding." Evan smiled, his eyes burning. "You will." Across the galaxy, signals spread. Humans and dragons, together. The first silence repelled. A bond formed. Old powers listened, and they were afraid. In the deep dark between galaxies, the first silence gathered in vast numbers. They did not speak this time. They remembered. Unity was a threat. The Dragon Queen's voice dropped, carrying only to Evan. "This peace will not last without guardians." Evan understood. Humans had always been weak alone. But together? "Then we'll stand watch," he said. Together. The Dragon Queen straightened, her wings spreading wide. Not in war, but in oath. From this moment, she declared, dragons will guard humanity, and humanity will guard dragons. A promise. A dangerous one. A beautiful one. The galaxy would never be the same. And it all began in a cold hangar, with a cry that one human chose to answer.